Good morning, true crime friends. How y'all doing? Today is day 13 in the state of Idaho, Iowa versus Chad Daybell. Let me just summarize for you. He did it. Look. First of all, on the stand yesterday was this FBI agent, right? And he's in charge of like all the cell phone, whatever. And then he was telling us all the cell phone things. And as a true crime fan, I'm like, sir, I'm gonna need you to cut to the chase. Was the dude there or was he not there? Tell me what his phone said. But no, he was just like, so we've done some long division and we carried the 3 and whatever, math, algebra, math that has letters in it. Alex was there at the scene. And I was like, really? Alex Cox, Lori Vallow Daybell's brother, is proven by way of cell phone to be at the scene where the kids were found buried. And I was like, okay, cool. That's all I needed to know. Only he took all day to explain it. And then he used the metric system, sir. He's like, with the percentage of probability within however many meters. We don't know what a meter is. Raise your hand if you know what a meter. I have no idea. Were there liters involved? I don't know. Meter? Can you tell me how many inches in feet? Because if you tell me how many inches in feet we talking, really, the bottom line is, all I want to know is, was Chad there? Did Chad know they were burying stuff on his property? Also, 4 o'clock in the morning? Alex Cox was up at 4 o'clock in the morning doing cardio, aka burying bodies on Chad Daybell's property. Okay, in truth, I'm up at 4 every morning. You're not up at 4, child. I'm up at 4 every morning. You know what I'm not doing it for? Burying nothing. I'm burying my face in a big old cup of coffee, burying my face in my iPhone. Child, that's about it. But these Mama Lukes was up early, digging holes, burying body, up to shenanigans. And so Chad had to know about it because he was texting with Lori, and Lori was texting with him, and then Lori was texting over there to Alex. These people are terrible. And then, Tammy's family members took the stand. Oh, I had to talk my throat dry. Hang on. First up was Tammy's second cousin. And I'm like, a second cousin? Okay, look, I got a whole bunch of cousins. And I know my second cousins, but we not like close like that. But okay, second cousin, cool. Second cousin gets up there and was like, I came to town. I was at the funeral with my family and everything because, you know, we super into family over here. Okay, great. So she's just like, the first time I went through the line, I went with my dad. And my dad was very sad and weepy. Oh, they love Tammy. It was terrible. So they get to Chad and they're like, Chad, we're so sorry for your loss. And Chad was like, how are humans supposed to behave in this scenario? Oh, the guy is crying. I will pretend to cry too. Yeah, I'm sad too. But then when second cousin's daddy stopped crying, Chad stopped crying. That's suspicious, Chad. But okay, we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt because there's no one way that people behave when somebody dies. Okay, cool. And then he was just like, everybody was like, what happened? Chad, let me give you a little pro tip, you little murdering behind. When somebody is unfortunately unalive, you should maybe take a couple days to get your story together. But Chad Daybell was so focused on getting over there to Hawaii next to his lady love that he forgot to get his story together. So he tells one person, Tammy was really sick and she threw up and then she went to bed and I sent her off to bed. And then 3 hours later I came and then I found her unfortunately unalive. Everybody's like, oh, that's terrible. Now look, the second time the cousin came through, she came through with her mom and the mother was like, oh, this is terrible. Chad, remember to cry. He was like, oh, you stopped crying? Okay, cool. I've stopped crying too. He told the mama, yeah, Tammy was sick. And so I went to bed with her to cuddle her. And then she was unfortunately unalive. And the second cousin was like, wait, that's not the story you told my daddy. You told my daddy that you were working in the office. Now you told my mama you went to bed with her. What is it, Chad? You also don't seem that sad, you weirdo. Anyway, and so everybody was just like, the scuttlebutt in the church was a lot. You know, it was a lot. Everybody was like, how she died. Now, we know from other testimony that Chad had a whole bunch of stories. He was like, she choked on a chicken bone. She had the gout. Yeah, she stumbled and fell down the stairs. He just made up stories. He's like, what delightful tale would I tell today? There's no way that people will put this all together because he'll use his brain for good stuff. He's just like, let me come up with some fanciful imaginings about what's happening on the other side of the veil. I don't have to worry about these mere mortals. They're going to be wiped out in the second coming anyway, where I'm going to be in charge. Why idiots always think they're going to be in charge? So anyway, At the funeral, Chad was just like, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to I'm going to eulogize my beautiful, beloved wife of 28 years. He had the nerve, the unmitigated gall of standing up there in the podium. I don't know what they have in Mormon churches, but he was up on the lectern or whatever. And he was like, Tammy, my beloved wife of 28 years, she was lazy. Sir, what? Sir, I'm sorry, what now? What? You should at least fake the funk. I don't care if you hated that woman's guts. I mean, obviously you wasn't that fond of her because you unfortunately unalived her. You can't pretend to be human for a little bit, but apparently, no. This man has all the personality of a bag of pus. And then he gonna get up there and be like, she was hard to live with. She was lazy. She suffered from depression. You know she didn't floss on a regular basis. Her feet stank. She had the gout. Now, Sarah, listen. I don't care who the person is. When they die, they're supposed to become a saint, right? Or at least you act like they're a saint. I have a very large family, as I have mentioned before. And some of them are really, really wonderful people. Some of them, terrible. But you ain't heard that from me. But you know, when they die, we all sit up there. We cry appropriately. Okay, we might be laughing over there in the limousine, but you ain't heard that from me. And my mama has a saying, don't say nothing about the dead unless it's good. Sometimes when somebody dies, you're like, he's dead. Good. But in this case, Chad was just like, here is a list of all her flaws. Here's all the reasons that she got on my nerves. Chad, this not going to go good for you. This is how we know that Chad was not meant to lead the 144,000. Number one, he's stupid. Number two, he writes stupid books. Number three, he's a horrible human being. And number four, he's just not that bright. Like, yes, he's a sociopath. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But like, he's not even good at sociopathy. He's supposed to be leading and recruiting all these people. But by the count that I have, he recruited what? 5, 6 people? Sir, 144,000? You couldn't even get 144. It was going to be like have a friend and bring a friend or whatever. Like an MLM version of recruiting for the afterlife. Sir, you're terrible. You're absolutely terrible. But here's the thing. The Daybell trial is going to be on break for day 14. You would think today would be day 14. No. They have a scheduled break. And so there's a day off. And then we're going to continue with the trial day after tomorrow. Here's the situation though. Because the Daybell trial, it was like a short day yesterday. They're going to have a break today. I was forced to do the thing that I have been trying all this time not to do. And that is that I watch Karen Read. Now listen, I know a lot of y'all are super, super into this Karen Read trial. Me personally, not so much. And let me tell you why. First of all, there's a lot of hoopla and crazy around it. And the way I see it, it's a bunch of crooked cops and a drunk lady. Like, what? Why? I don't relate to these people. I don't know nothing about these people. Tell me, am I a Mormon? No. But I'm like, I'm a wife. I got some kids. I can relate to that. A bunch of drunk people and crooked cops. No, I don't know nothing about that life. I'm 27 years sober, y'all. I'm just like, So I was like, did the drunk lady hit her boyfriend? Did she not hit her boyfriend? Did the cops cover it up? I say yes to all of it. I don't care. But then I'll watch the opening statements. Now look. You are not supposed to judge a case based on the opening statements. But here's the thing. I'm a human being and I have thoughts and feelings, and I always judge a case based on the opening statements. And based on the opening statements, I have decided that Karen Read is going to be acquitted. But I don't know. But this is what I learned yesterday from watching the opening statements. Number one, the prosecution got up there and he was like, ha, ba, 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 ba. It was like the Charlie Brown teacher child. I don't know what he said. He talked about some kids. There's some kids who've led a very sad life because the mama died, then the daddy died, and then the uncle took over and was raising them for a couple of years. And then the uncle got unfortunately unalived, possibly by Karen Read, possibly by some people in a house over there in Boston someplace. And I was like, okay. And then he pointed out that there was snow in Boston, and there was a lot of snow and a little snow, and there was a snow truck driver and whatever. I don't know what the prosecutor said. He talked a whole lot and said nothing, absolutely nothing. And then it happened. Y'all, it happened. I do not know this man's name. The defense attorney stood up and I was like, okay, what we got here? And he opened his mouth and he said, Karen Read was framed. And I was like, yes, Tell me everything. You have my attention. The hair, the accent. He, to me, was quintessential Boston. And I was like, okay. First, Matt Damon is going to play you in the movie. Where is De Niro? Is Ben Affleck out of rehab? Because we definitely going to need him for this. That little skinny Karen Reed, she was sitting there and she was looking as innocent as she could. I don't know if she's a good guy. I don't know if she's a bad guy. I don't know the whole story. But that defense attorney, child, he got up and he preached the whole sermon. He was just like, this happened and this happened and this happened. And the cops, the dirty cops, they did this thing and they did that thing. And I was like, I will believe anything you say because I really, really liked your opening statement. Now, look, I'm going to continue watching this trial today. And I know people are up in arms. People have big, big feelings, very big feelings about the Karen Reed trial. And to that I say, I don't care. People are like, you have to go and watch all the hearings and read all the things and do all the research. And no, I'm not going to do that. I am going to pretend to be a juror, and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to listen to all the evidence and I'm going to make my decision based on the evidence that's presented in court, vibes, and who wore the best suit. Because that is the American way. Yes, we listen to facts, we listen to details, we listen to evidence, and then we prejudge you based on shallow things that have almost nothing to do with the case. Really, it's going to get down to who I like better. I will give you my unvarnished opinion every single day about the Karen Reed trial. Now listen, I had vowed to myself that I was not going to cover this trial because the people who were up in arms about it on both sides, I find to be quite annoying. I want to know what happened to the dog Chloe. Other than that, I don't care about this case. I just don't. I feel sorry for these kids who lost their parents. I feel sorry for the parents who lost his son. But the rest of it, I don't care. I don't care. To me, Karen Reed seems profoundly unlikable. I saw her little Nightline interview and I was like, I think she should get a fair trial. I don't think she should get a raw deal, but she seems profoundly unlikable to me. But these cops, they seem like terrible people too. It's just like a whole bunch of terrible people doing terrible things to each other. So I don't care. I'm just sitting over here in my house in New Jersey, minding my business, gossiping about people like you do. Anyway, so we will continue watching the Karen Reed trial. Wait, as an aside, did you know that this mess that I call a YouTube channel is also a podcast? Yeah. Go on over there to YouTube Music, and a lot of my playlists have been turned into podcasts. Oh, yes. So you can take this foolishness with you in your ears. So when you're walking down the street and you start coughing, being like, what happened? You okay? It's like, I'm listening to this crazy lady from New Jersey just run her mouth about absolutely nothing. But in the meantime, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to see y'all later. Talk about that doggone Karen Reed. She get on my nerves. All right. I'll see you later. Bye.